But honey, I love you, and I'm feeling good. Anybody remember that song? Is it the same song as See the Tree, How Big It's Grown, but it hasn't been so long, it wasn't there.
I laughed at her and she got mad. The first day that she planted it was just a twig.
Honey, honey, honeycomb. Okay, we're going to make honeycomb. What is honeycomb, you may ask? Honeycomb is a kind of candy, sort of. It is British, could be another small step on my way to my MBE, OBE, CBE, or knighthood. Anyways, what is honeycomb? It's essentially an aerated toffee. If you've never had it, it's kind of spectacular. It's kind of fancy, but it's really, really easy. And it's only 3 ingredients. Then you can crack it up and grind it up, you'll see, and you put it on top of ice cream. It's very specific temperatures, kind of like peanut brittle. And there's a little bit of a cleanup that you must do right away. This is a really beautiful thing for like a gift or something. It's a very nice thing, honeycomb. But honeycomb, I love you, and I'm feeling good. Let's go to the stove and make some honeycomb. What's in honeycomb? Well, it might seem slightly familiar. It's sugar, corn syrup, and baking soda, kind of like peanut brittle. But it's not, it doesn't resemble peanut brittle. But this is all you need. These 3 things to make an awesome thing. So the most important thing you need to remember is don't mash it after you put the baking soda in. I'm gonna show you, but that's the only thing that's really important. The first batch I made, I sort of mixed in the baking soda too much and I deflated some of the bubbles. It was still good. They still ate it. This is my favorite pot for making caramel in. It's heavy and it's copper. You can do this in a pan from the grocery store if you want. This is just convenient. Okay, a cup of sugar. I'm gonna use the 3rd measuring because I forgot to bring the other one. 1, 2. This makes quite a lot of honeycomb. And now we're going to do a 1/3 cup of water. Did you ever think for a second about how lucky you are to have running water? Think about that. That's why I don't go camping. Here's a 1/3 cup of water. I'm just, you know. Now this is corn syrup. Now I just want to mention that in England they use golden syrup for this. Next time when I'm not shooting, I might try it with this instead of this, okay? But I don't want to do it on camera because I don't know if it works as well. So, but just so you know, that's an option if you don't want to use corn syrup. It seems awfully dark also to me, but we'll see. Okay, a 1/3 cup of this. So this pan has another convenient aspect, which I'm going to show you. So why do you put corn syrup in? It makes it foolproof. Distribute it as much as you can. And then look at that. Oh, amazing. And then we're going to heat this until it reaches 300, like peanut brittle. That doesn't mean 280, 300, 285, 301, 290, 300. It means 300, 304, 300, 305, 300, 310, 300, 301. Don't flirt this way, flirt that way, okay? Or it won't harden. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat on. Sort of moderate. I'm going to melt this and stir it. Once it starts boiling, I'm not going to stir it so much, or at all. I wanted to take a minute to shout out to Ruby Cruz Crosby. You write us the sweetest things, and we love your Instagram page. You're a great, great fan. And based on pictures, I think you might like to make this because it's fancy and hard and sort of difficult, but fun and easy too. Ruby, thank you. Oh yeah, Somebody stopped me in the street. I was literally like a bag lady with my Macintosh, army hat like this. I had my slippers on that have the rubber bottom, okay? And I'm walking, shoving vegetarian jerky in my mouth, right? Like this, walking down the street. And somebody goes, Randy! And I'm like, oh my God. And it was 2 fans. It was very sweet, actually. Okay. I'm kind of mixing it. Could you flavor this? Not really. I wouldn't flavor it. The end. It has funny names that Lynn found out. I've never heard it called this, but it's called HOKEY POKEY. It's called CINDER, which you might have heard on Great British Menu if you watched that show. It's called CINDER Toffee. And apparently it's also called SEAFOAM. These are HOKEY POKEY and SEAFOAM I've never heard. CINDER, I think, is kind of wonderful. I'm not sure why it's called SEAFOAM. Oh, because it looks like flotsam. Possibly. That's your $20 word. You know the foam you see on the shore? That's flotsam. So I'm just waiting for this to boil. I'm sort of checking it to make sure it's not too hot. The one reason people buy copper, 2 reasons that people buy copper pans. One, non-cooks buy it to show off that they cook. And cooks buy it because it does evenly distribute heat. It doesn't have a hot spot, which is very usable for things like sauces, caramel, etc. So if somebody has like 4,000 copper pots, chances are they don't cook because they're kind of hard to take care of. How do you prepare the pan? You have to prepare a pan, or do you? I'm not sure if you do. I'm using this pan. It's called a hotel pan. And I'm preparing it by going like this. Prepared. No, I'm gonna make this a little better. Okay, this is gonna start boiling. I told the crew this is kind of a fast maneuver, all right, when it's ready. Please use if you have this, it's the greatest thing on planet Earth. ThermoPro Lightning. It gives the temperature very, very quickly. So I'm gonna try the temperature. I'm not stirring anymore. What does the temperature say? It says 240, basically. We need something much hotter than that. Please remember, if you're doing this with children, including teenage children, Ruby, it's lethal. If this spills on you, it will disfigure you. It's like napalm, okay? You have to be careful. Keep this handy. Okay, so I wipe it quickly while the caramel is wet. 260, 270, oh! Good job. Turning it up was the right idea. So how do I know it's ready? Because a drop of it fell and it made already caramel. Here we go. Into the temperatures. It's quite hot. It's absolutely perfect. It's too hot, you might say. I'm now going to move it over here and I'm going to put in the baking soda. This is lethal right now. If you spill this, I'm telling you, you're gonna regret it. 2.5 teaspoons. It's a lot. It's more than brittle. 1, 2.5. Okay, now watch the magic. Check this out. Look at that, guys. Holy cow. Okay, don't stir it too much, Randall. Okay, this is the very difficult part. It's nice and aerated. I did a good job of not flattening it. Voila. Here is your honeycomb. Don't mash this, okay? You're gonna wanna spread it. Don't spread it. You can do this so you don't have 6-inch pieces. That wasn't a good one. Okay, that's it. It has to cool for some time. It gets rock hard, okay? And then you can smash it with a hammer. You can bang it with your gavel and it shatters, or it will, even though that seems unlikely right now. It will. So leave this to cool and you can store it in a tin with a dehydrating packet if you want. It will absorb water and become sticky, which you don't want. It should explode like powder in your mouth, sort of. So that's it. You made honeycomb. All your friends are impressed. You have a big problem, which is your pan, okay? Now, one thing you can do is run cold water on the handles, because the handles are nuclear, but also copper loses heat as quickly as it gains it. So I'm not gonna bother with that because I have this cloth. So I have a little bit of dish soap in here, and I'm gonna boil this. And as it boils, the stuff that's on the, this is gonna be good honeycomb, the stuff that's on the rim will slip back into the pot. One can dream. And there's a big piece right here. See, look. See that? I'm gonna take that off with a knife. And just boil this. And then you'll see when it starts to get gloopy, you can take it to the sink. As you can see, the dolphins swim around the calypso totally at ease. Remember Jacques Cousteau? He would always begin, as you can see. So you can see that the tea-colored liquid, all of the caramel has melted, except for this teeny little piece on the outside here, which I think you can now wipe away. Yes. So I'm looking around the outside. I'm just going like this. Be careful. Took about 5 minutes, as opposed to scraping at it for an hour. Here we go. Hello? Cold water on the handles. Okay, here we go. This pan is clean. It's time to smash the honeycomb. This has been cooling for over an hour. You want to see what it looks like? It looks like that. Did it flatten? Yes. Am I probably doing something slightly wrong? Maybe. Why doesn't it fit back in? Okay, here we go. Ready? I'm gonna smash it. Huh! Not bad. Wow. That's better than the first time I made it. Look at that. You can hit it very lightly. Ooh! I'm thrilled. Now, some people take pieces like this and dip it in chocolate. I would, which is you see on Great British Menu, possibly grind this so it's like that and put it on top of ice cream. Delicious, right? So I made some powder, which I'm gonna save because for that purpose. If you bought it in the store, that's what it would look like. They used to have the best candy in England. Then Mars bought Cadbury. Oh, it's good too. And we used to eat honeycomb on ice cream. Totally not sticking to my teeth. Disappearing. Honeycomb's big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not small. No, no, no. Honeycomb. You can travel the world in the kitchen, but you can also travel into your past in the kitchen. Eating honeycomb reminds me of being 9 in London, and it transports me back. Why not make some honeycomb? Please hit the bells, like, subscribe. We are nothing without you. So we don't know how to thank you enough for watching our show. Dinner party tonight. Honey, honey, honeycomb.